but no. And then he's like, okay, but like, just so you know. And then he would like tell me the government was just lying to me about how bad it was for you, but I was worried because he's always doing Molly,
What is
and
Molly?
it's ecstasy,
Hmm.
which it's like, I'm not gonna say like that's bad within it of itself, but like, he's doing it way too fucking often,
Hmm.
and it can cause depression long term and stuff, and like make it so you can't really use the chemicals in your brain anymore, like they're constantly being used up by the stuff you're on. So I'm worried about that. And like all the weird anger, all the weird like arguments he gets in, like, and doesn't fucking, what I mean? It kind of to me just looks like he fucked his brain up on drugs. There's no
Hmm.
coming back. Because like otherwise he wouldn't be like randomly aggressive about stuff, or never sleeping, or he'd always be yelling at me and then telling me like, "Oh, you think whispering is yelling?" I'm like, "No, you're legitimately yelling at me, and I can tell you have pressured speech right now." Which is like, when people on like meth and stuff or any type of stimulant, because he would go back and forth doing like the Molly and the cocaine. So like, you get pressured speech from that. It's when you can't stop talking.
Hmm.
So if I would sort of trigger his synapses, like if I say a word or something and it reminds him of something, he just starts talking and like sort of barking at me. And it's like, dude. And if I couldn't put up with it, then like I said, it would just be angry, angry messages, calling me names and shit. And then I would always think like we were broken up because he would say shit like, "I'm done with you. You're not the person I thought you were." And I would just be like, "Okay, whatever. That's you dumping me." And then he would like not acknowledge that he did it and act like we weren't broken up, but then also like when I would say like that's not acceptable, like you can't treat me like shit, and then like tell me we're over and then expect me to not think we're broken up, then he'd be like, okay, well, then I meant it. And he would then suddenly, like, selectively remember it. So, like, pretending he forgot, I guess. But fucking, honestly, I don't know. The more I think about it, the more it's honestly just really horrible. And I should sort of just be glad he's, like, not there doing that anymore to me. But I'm sort of just, I don't know. I'm upset at the whole thing because I told him, like, if you could have offered me this type of shit when I was literally asking for it, I would have just done it. We would have just been together, and like you wouldn't have a reason to be yelling at me right now. Not that he really had a reason to be yelling at me anyway, because it's not my fault I moved on and did what was best for me. Like,
The question is if
that's
you.
just like me looking out for
I'm just.
myself. But like, fucking, I'm just sick of people sitting on me all the time for like doing what's actually best for me.
The question is it good for you to tell him that? Because you're like, he's regretting and he's having PTSD from the regret of remembering how good it was with you, and he's upset at himself that he left you, and now he's traumatized by having left you, and by you maybe telling him that you could have had me and it's your choice. Maybe that's even more traumatizing for him to hear. Maybe he needs to hear less of that. Like, maybe tell him actually how horrible of a person you are. Like, don't tell him you could have had me, you dummy dum dum. Like, cause then he's like, oh my god, how could I have messed it up and stuff like that. I think.
I do agree with you that maybe that's unnecessary, but at the same time, it's just the honest truth. Because it's not like you know what I mean? Like, I needed actual, like, assistance where it was like, I can't be dating someone and, like, be homeless and on the road fucking constantly. And I was just being realistic because he offered me a place to live. And I was kind of like, okay, we need, like, an end goal here. Like, when am I going to your house? And then he would just keep, like, I don't know, moving the goalpost and being a dick about it.
Mm.
And then all
Yeah.
of a sudden it's like, oh, I've moved on. I live somewhere stable now, and now you want to like uproot me from my house and tell me like I'm,
Mhm.
like a shitty person. And I'm just like, no, like you could have done this if you wanted to do it, and you didn't, so it's your fault. Like I just want to be honest because I'm actually angry. Because, like, if you're gonna let me suffer and, like, fucking live on the street, then, like, that's kind of up to you. Like, fucking, you can't say you're with me and then I live on the goddamn street. Like, if I live on the street, then I'm not with anyone. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm not gonna tell people I have a fucking prior commitment if that person doesn't even care enough to help me out. Like, it would be one thing if he at least was, like, on paying attention to me and, like, trying to help, but he would just have arguments with me. And I remember like we had just broken up and gotten back together, and this was like months ago, and I was like, listen, we can't have arguments like this when I'm on the road because I'm going to be with another person and that's going to be inappropriate and freak them out. And then he just started screaming at me and saying, oh, you just want to break up with me. And I'm just like, dude, I just worked so hard for us to get back together. Like, I'm not breaking up with you. I'm trying to, like,
Mhm.
communicate.
Wait 1 second. Let me
And
check.
then, that was
Let.
all that happened. And then a few days after the fact, he started this huge thing with me. And he
Mhm.
keeps like embarrassing me in like public. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Mhm.
Like trying to bring like relationship issues up in like weird conversations that no one gives a shit about. So it's like that's not what it's here for. And he keeps getting like fucking kicked out of places for doing it.
Mhm.
So
Oh my god.
yeah, so it's like, dude, if you want to embarrass me because we're not together, I'm gonna tell the truth about why we aren't together because it's literally not my fault and I made an effort.
Interesting. Tell me, what do you do in order to wake up if you're like really tired, like you barely slept the night before and you don't want to go to sleep? Well, maybe I should go to sleep early.
Water. It just sounds like your brain's just like shrunk and dehydrated.
Oh, wait a minute. Cenas said something. Come to VC. Oh my God. Cenas just gave me a message. I don't want to share it. He needs to tell me if I can share it. Can I? Cause he's. Can I share it on the stream? Oh my
Isn't
God.
he just talking about like the paper or something?
No, he actually has a problem. IRL.
Oh,
He needs my help. Mm. Anyway, I need to see his. Let me just tell him. I would need. Can't go into VC right now. Okay, I would need to see your thing. Okay, he has a problem. He cannot come to VC right now. Let me see if I can. Okay. So whenever you want. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So I had a debate today with Judas. Did you see that?
no.
So he says, Heil Hitler and stuff like that. And I asked him, why do you say that? And he goes, because he was a fasci, and I'm a fasci. I love fascism. And I asked him, why do you like it? He says, because it's.
Edgy.
What?
Edgy.
What do you mean I do?
I said that's edgy.
Oh, edgy. Yeah. So I said, so why do you like it? He says, well, it's collectivist. I said, why do you like collectivism? He said because that gives the human race the highest chances of survival. So, wait, Sheep wants to talk about the juice. Everybody wants to talk about the juice.
That's crazy.
I know. It's so I had a debate with Judas. One second, let me invite Sheep to. Like you talk to the nicest people in the world, and then they say, "I hate the Jews." It's like, what is going on?
Because they think there's a good reason, so you can't really tell them anything.
Anyway, so I was talking to Judas, and I was like, okay, so you like fascism, and that's why, and because why do you like it? Because it's the highest chances of survival for humanity. So I said, well, what's your evidence for that? And he goes, well, I read a book that says that. Okay, so I'm inviting Sheep to talk to us in VC about this now. This is good. I wanna, I want people who are like who hate the juice, specifically the orange juice. I want them to come and debate me because I think I can save their souls. Talk about what?
What is the orange juice? Like, what
The
the hell does that
juice,
mean?
the juice, the
Yeah, but
J.
what is orange? What makes them
Mm,
orange?
no, I'm kidding. I just don't want you to realize what I'm talking about. Talk about what? The juice. It's rather complicated. I generally don't like them. So Judas doesn't like the juice. Why don't you like the juice? What's wrong with the juice? I don't know. Like you talk to him and it's like it makes no sense. And then I tell him, why don't you like them? Or I don't care about them, but why do you hate them? And he goes, are you one of the Jews? That's the way that's theoretically that's supposed to be like a debate. Like if I'm a Jews, then I don't know what. I asked a question about the Jews. I didn't say I hate them. Okay. Oh. Wait. So Sheep doesn't hate the Jews? What do you? Oh, Sheep asked Judas, "What do you think about the Jews?" Anyway, let's see. It also says, "Yes, I don't hate." Oh, come to VC now. Please, I don't want to die. My brain is shutting down. I don't know what to do about it. What do you do when your brain shuts down? So you said drink water?
Yeah.
Oh my God. He wants to give me 30 minutes. Oh my God. Okay, you got 30 minutes. I'm not going to survive until then. Okay, Cena says, uh, hmm, uh, oh, okay, but in general, uh, okay. Also, okay. See, whenever. No, whenever. Okay, everybody's texting me. Okay, I'm with you. Um. Anyway, so I talk to Judas and I tell him, okay, so why do you like fascism? And he goes, because I love collectivism. Why do you like collectivism? It's like everybody together. Oh, it's because it gives the highest chances of survival to the human race. Okay, and what's your evidence for that? Then he goes like, I read someone who wrote a book about it. That's it. That's why he loves Hiller, Mr. Hiller. You know Mr. Hiller?
Mm-mm.
The Adolf Hiller. Adolf. Do you know Adolfo? Do you know Adolfo Hiller? You don't know Adolfo?
Oh my gosh.
Adolf.
You
You,
could just call him Austrian Painter.
the the Austrian dejected painter. He never became. He was many things. He was an artist. He was a very good artist. He was the best, the artist, the best, the artist. Yeah, he was the best in the destroying the universe. Anyway, okay, what do we got? What do you got for me? What? Do you have anything else you want to tell me about? Last time you said that you have PTSD. Oh, suddenly you're remembering your mom's ex-boyfriend, and you're wondering why is your brain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So
weird. Yeah, I had another like vivid dream last night, but it wasn't even about that. It
okay.
was actually I was talking to someone and they told me that like these people had jumped into the back of her truck
Mm.
and just started playing music loudly in her car.
Mm.
And I was like, I'm sorry, like that's really crazy. Like who would even do that? And like her reaction to it was like, no, well, like I'm sure they weren't trying to do anything wrong, and was like
Hmm? Wait,
weirdly passive about it. And I was like, what the fuck? No, you just told me someone broke into your vehicle. Like
wait,
that's a
wait,
huge deal.
wait. Your mom, you had a dream that your mom told you this story?
It wasn't my mom. It was like some random girl.
So you had a dream that a random girl. Does
Yeah,
this
no one I know.
okay? This dream, does it bother you or does it not bother you?
It bothers me honestly because I'm just like, what the fuck was that about? Because like it was so vivid. I remember the whole conversation, and she was getting like passive aggressive and just seemed like annoyed at me
Okay, so
for
I'll
like trying to bring attention to
okay,
it.
so I'll tell you my theory of dreams. So the brain is looking out for you. It wants your best. I mean, the brain is the product of like a trillion years of evolution. So it's optimized to help you survive, to help you navigate this maze called life. So any thought that you've repressed for any reason, like let's say you don't want to have to deal with something that is making you anxious. Like you need to find a new place to live, let's say. And it's making you anxious because it's so difficult and you don't want to deal with it, so you shove it to the back of your mind and you forget about it and you go to sleep and then you dream about a tree that fell on your car and broke it. It's something weird. It's like you don't know why did I have this dream, and then you realize, oh, this dream really it represents this and that. Your brain is trying to remind you, hey, I'm not gonna tell you this. I'm not gonna nag you about it. I'm just going to make you think about things about it. Like I'm gonna go in a roundabout way to just like I don't want you to become anxious, but I want you to, realize I want you to face your fears, but in a, without getting panicked. So the brain is going to tell you a story, a similar story to the one that really you don't want to deal with, like looking for a house. So the brain is going to you're going to have a dream about looking for something, and maybe you succeeded or maybe you failed, but your brain just wants you to face looking for here looking for something. It's not the end of the world whether you succeed or fail, whatever. But your brain is going to try and force you to deal with reality. Your brain is not going to just let you forget about reality, because your brain is optimized to optimize your life. So whatever dreams you have that bother you, if you look into them, they should tell you something about this is what you really need to do with your life. That's my personal opinion. What's your opinion?
I'm pretty sure that's what the science already agrees with, but it's more like how to interpret that. I'm not sure what that would even be referring to.
Okay, let's go to the previous dream about the name of your mom's boyfriend because I think that's more
Yeah, that
straightforward.
was actually related to me, so that makes more sense, right? Like,
Yes, that's easier. That's easier to decipher. So, but what do you think is the cipher? What is being encrypted? What is the decryption of the dream? So you just had a dream. Hey, this is his name. So your brain is resurfacing his name, right? That's all the dream was about, just his name.
yeah.
Okay. So so okay, but what is that? What associations do you have with that name, with him, with anything in the dream? Does it invoke any associations? Is it bad? Is it good? Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it disgusting? Is there something positive, negative? Like, what are the associations that are
I'm
surfaced?
pretty disgusted. Yeah,
Okay,
like it's like that, and like just highly agitated.
okay. But how is it relevant to you today? Why would your brain surface it today? Well, why should you care today? It's like, who cares? Unless your brain is trying to tell you something about today. Like, maybe something today is somehow relevant to that. Is there anything in you? Maybe your ex is like is relevant, or what could be? What could be? Why would your
I don't know.
brain?
That could be it, I guess. Like, because my I don't know. I don't know what to really refer to that as, but like my ex would constantly call me a liar,
Mm,
but it's like I wasn't lying about anything, and he couldn't
mm,
tell me what I was lying about. Like he would just yell at me constantly.
mm-hmm,
And like it's like by the time I was like done talking, there would be like inconsistencies in what I said. He would like
mm-hmm,
say that was a lie, and it would be
mm-hmm.
stuff that was like my feelings, where it's like, okay, I'm not lying. It's just after the 100th time you've argued with me, I don't feel the same way anymore. That's not a
Okay.
lie. You're just
Mm-hmm,
making me angry.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where
Yeah,
it's
of
like,
course.
oh, you said you cared about this. Now you don't care about it. No, I don't know if I can trust you. And it's like they call you all these awful names and things because you're not consistent enough for them. But it's like they're abusing you. So you're not going to stay consistently positive. Like, if you came in with a positive mood and then they start abusing you, it's like then you're not going to be positive after that, like, and like it would sort of be like what he did around my mom, I guess, like it caused an attitude problem, and then like when I'm having to deal with it in the aftermath, he would just tell my mom I did a bunch of shit I didn't actually do. And like one of the things that actually stuck out to me when I caught him, because I could hear him, he was talking to my mom in like a tent, and I was in the next tent over, and I don't think he realized I could hear.
Mm-hmm.
um like he told my mom that like my plan in life was to go to jail or something, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I
Wait,
never said
who?
anything
This
remotely
is
close to that.
this is her ex or your ex?
Yeah, that's her ex.
Okay.
The one that was like sexually mistreating me when I was like 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so he said some shit to her about how I wanted to go to jail. And I'm like, that doesn't even make sense, and I never talked about that like ever.
Mm-hmm.
So it just confused me, and I didn't know I had autism either because my parents wouldn't let them diagnose me or anything. They
Wait,
just
you
told them
you
like
have
nothing's wrong with me, basically. Yeah, I have. It's actually on my record that I have like a learning disability, and it's unspecified because they wouldn't let them diagnose me. Like they referred me out to a specialist, and my parents said no.
so how did that wait, but you seem normal.
That's what happens to autistic people. They just adapt to the environment because they're tired of getting treated like shit. You know what I mean? Because like for the first like 20 years of my life, I was just told I was being rude or being weird and awkward. because I didn't know I was autistic. And then like when I figured out like what that was, I was like, oh, that actually makes sense. That's probably the learning disability that they wouldn't let me be diagnosed with. And then I found out that two of my other diagnoses were like they wouldn't have diagnosed me with those if they didn't think I was autistic because they diagnosed me with like a certain type of eating disorder and like a certain type of like other thing where it was like those go hand in hand with autism and like they're not like typically diagnosed on their own. So I was like, oh, you guys are just making it harder for my doctors to actually help me because you keep telling them I'm fine and I'm not. And then on top of that, like I was getting sexually abused and they just kept telling me not to like say anything about it.
Who? Who told you this?
My mom and my grandma.
Hmm. Wow.
Because like I would tell them like it started with a family member and not my mom's boyfriend, but when I would tell them about it, they would say that's your family member, they're allowed to touch you, so don't be rude.
Wow. Oh my God.
So then at that point when other people touched me, like I just wouldn't say anything about it because I didn't want to get in trouble because I would get in trouble for it, not the other person.
Wait,
So
did you grow up poor?
I would consider us middle class. The only issue is that my mother was a teenager.
Oh. Why did your mom tell you this when you came and complained?
I genuinely don't know.
Do
I
you
think she just hated me.
do you talk to her today?
No, I haven't spoken to her in like 6 years.
Mm. Does she try to contact you?
No, actually.
Mm. What about your dad?
My dad was a statutory rapist, so I haven't been allowed to have contact with him.
Hmm.
And now I couldn't contact him if I wanted to because I don't know where he is or if he's alive.
Hmm. Wait, who did he statutorily rape?
My mother. 'Cause my
Mm.
mother was 15, he was in his 20s, and she had sex with him for alcohol. So
Hmm.
I was basically just born because she wanted beer.
Hmm.
She wanted an abortion, but you can't have an abortion in New Hampshire without your parents' permission. At least, like at that time, it was 1994.
Hmm.
So my grandma said no,
Mm.
but my grandma still kicked her out.
Oh, Jesus.
So she wouldn't let her get an abortion, but she also didn't support her, and she couldn't be with my father because that was considered rape. So my mom just kind of like took me all over the place and then eventually dropped me off at my grandma's house and left.
Wow. Wow, what a story. So, but would you consider yourself today to be like emotionally stable? Like, is your life
Given the
okay?
situation, like I think I'm just realistic where it's like you know what I mean? It's like if I'm upset, I have a reason to be because I had so much stupid shit happen, so I'm not gonna let people tell me I'm unstable for being upset
No, no, I'm saying
because
no, no.
that's just given the situation.
No, no, no. I'm just asking. Are you like, is your life stable? Do you feel like you've reached like a point of stability? Because I know you have a fiance, you have like a boyfriend.
Hmm.
So, is that like a point of stability? Is that like an anchor in your life?
I don't think it's meant to be. That feels like a trick question.
Wait, I'm not trying to give you a trick question. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm just asking if.
Yeah, but as soon as you say it is, people are like, "Oh, so you just rely on this guy and like you can't do anything yourself." But it's like,
There's nothing wrong with
I
that.
don't
I mean,
know.
if
I
that's
just kind of go with stuff. Like I was
that's
homeless
good.
before I was with him, and before that I was just living with my grandma. So it's
I
like,
don't have a problem with anyone living with anyone for any reason. I mean, at the end of the day, we do everything for a reason. So, I mean, obviously, you're going to be in a relationship with someone that makes you happy, and that making you happy includes, giving you stuff. So I mean, that's completely legitimate. I'm not. It's not a trick question. The question is, are you like? You don't have to answer. It's like I mean, we just have to realize that in our lives we have practical choices. It's like none like there's no man who would want to be with their wife if they could be with the most like with a beautiful runway model. It's like any guy in the world would trade in their wives for a better looking, and the same goes for any woman. It's like every couple is together, because they each settled, and that's fine. And anyone who has a job, it's because they settled. Of course, they would prefer to be, you know, some CEO of some mega corporation, but for now, you're just a janitor at McDonald's, and that's fine. Or you're a barista at, what do you call it, Starbucks. It's fine. Like whatever you do, as long as you're surviving, and and today's better than yesterday, I don't see an issue. Do you understand?
Yeah, I agree. That's usually what most healthcare professionals say too. It's like everyone who insinuates that I need some sort of dramatic like mental health treatment, it's like, well, I've already tried to get
No.
that and it doesn't really happen because I don't qualify because I'm not like distressed enough by it. Like, yeah, I've been through shit and
Mhm.
yeah, I'm probably what qualifies as depressed, but like I'm not doing enough for people to want to help. So it's like sometimes I've genuinely like wanted to be worse because I actually want like some sort of assistance, but I really just want things done for me
Mhm.
so that I don't have to like deal with like a burden on me while I'm depressed. You know what I mean? Like if I
Sure.
could just have someone like help with some task, and it's like these types of issues are solved through like community and like friendship and like good deeds done by others, like like because some people really don't have anybody, and like even people who are like new to your community or something, it's like they might not have friends, but it could be for a completely unrelated reason, like maybe they just got there or something and then got into an accident. Like we're supposed to care, you know what I mean? And it just feels like a lot of these problems could be solved if I just had a community that gave a shit.
Mhm.
And now that I've moved, it's a little bit more like that, but that's also because I'm in an enclosed like suburb. So, like, in the cul-de-sac,
Mhm.
people are going to be nice to each other because we're all familiar, but it's like,
Mhm.
what would you do? Like when I lived in New Hampshire, nobody gave a shit about each other. And like nobody helped when you needed anything. Like and we barely knew anybody. So my grandmother's friends had either moved, retired, or died. And most of my friends moved or died because there's a huge problem with drugs, or they got into car crashes.
Really?
So yeah, actually, that's a lot of my friends that are car crashes.
Mhm. Sad.
It's stupid shit because it's like it's in New Hampshire. It's usually because they hit black ice when they were supposed to be on like a straight road and then hit like a telephone pole or something.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like they weren't doing anything wrong. They just had like bad luck, and like people are like, "Oh, that's why they say like, be careful," but like you can't really be careful when your job tells you to come in, and what the fuck are you going to do about it? And like you can't plow, you can't like salt the road yourself. Like what are you supposed to do?
Mm.
It's just I don't know.
Mm.
I've seen the busyness of life kill people is kind of what I'm trying to say.
Mm.
And this just feeds back into what I was already getting at, which is if we cared about each other, they wouldn't be able to do this type of shit to us. Like, do you think they'd be able to demand you come into work if your whole community said, we're not gonna risk killing people over it.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
it used to be like that when I was growing up. It used to be like that if it snowed in New Hampshire. You didn't have to go to your frickin' job. Now they want you to go in because you're basically supplies for everybody in Massachusetts.
Mhm.
Like our state just became this like giant convenience store for all the surrounding states. No one gave a shit about us anymore, and it was too expensive for us to even live there.
Mhm. Anyway, listen. My brain is still falling asleep. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna need to take a break and maybe eat something. I don't know. Like I barely slept at night. I had to wake up early in the morning. I went to sleep late. Had to wake up really early in the morning to go to a meeting. And I
Where is
barely.
your headache?
No, I don't have a headache. Did I say I have a headache?
Oh, okay. I thought you did. I heard I have a headache.
No, I did. No, I usually don't have headaches. My brain it keeps falling asleep. Like during this conversation, it didn't, but I'm really tired. And the previous, before you came on, I was watching a video, and every time I started talking, I would wake up, like in mid sentence, I would wake up and realize, oh, I'm sleeping while talking, while streaming, which is something that I am able somehow to do. I don't know how that works. Does that ever happen to you? Like you talk, you fall asleep, and you wake up while still talking? Has this ever happened to you?
Yeah, oh god, I hate that feeling because it's that one weird feeling where it's like if you black out while you're drunk and then you kind of come to while you're still talking, it's like sort of like that.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
my
you
god.
probably have been doing that a lot with like the paper you've been writing too, because it.
Not so much, because usually I sleep well, but last night I really did not sleep well. I kept waking up and watching YouTube videos and falling asleep and waking up and turning the AC on and off and the fan on and off and the blanket on and off. My phone fell to the floor. Oh my god, what a night. What a nightmare. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go. I'm so tired. I'm gonna go eat something and then I have to, we have a meeting later. And I'll go to sleep early. And then I'll kill myself, hopefully.
Sounds like a good day.
Yeah, it's a good day. Yeah. Anyway, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, see you
Yeah.
my little D.
Yeah, I'll see you around. Alright. Alright, everyone. That's it. Sheep for Life says, go vegan, y'all. Sheep for Life, you should join us. Join the stream sometime. Okay, everyone. Goodbye.